Alaikum and a very good morning to all the people who have tuned in to watch World This Morning on PTV World. I happen to be Eesha Rehan and I'm joined by the one and only Shahzad Khan. And we hope and pray that you had a wonderful week, and I think you all deserve a pat on your back for surviving Monday, Tuesday, and now it's Wednesday. It's basically half of the week that is done and you have survived it. So a big congratulations to you. And we are in Islamabad where the skies are sunny, the clouds have parted, and we have been welcomed by the sun once again. However, before we get our updates for the daily news, Assalamu alaikum Shahzad, how are you feeling today?
Walaikum salam, I'm feeling great, and I'm not feeling great just because of the fact that I've woken up to this lovely weather over here in Islamabad. I'm feeling great because you started to do so well as well. You know, so big round of applause to you, Eesha. You've been a wonderful contribution to our team, and that's exactly what I would want to start my day with. Now, imagine most of the time, whenever we come across someone, we will compliment their shoes, their tie, their clothes, but we will never say, hey, you know what, you look amazing today. So for anybody and everybody who's out there, if you're going to give a compliment to someone, please make sure that you give a compliment to a human, not to any sort of material. Oh, your car looks nice. Oh, your tie looks nice. Oh, your shoes look nice. Please make sure that you say to a human who's standing right in front of you, because it will certainly make their day. And where you spoke about the weather, yesterday we did speak about it, where how for another 4 days monsoon rain spell is going to continue, but as of now there's no rain in Islamabad or Rawalpindi. But what's going to happen today is something that we would like to update you with. So Eesha, why don't you go ahead and take the lead?
Definitely. More monsoon rains with wind and thunderstorms are predicted across the country from today. According to the Met Office, weak monsoon currents are continuously penetrating the upper and central parts of the country and are likely to intensify from today. Heavy rains may trigger flash floods in local nalas and streams across the country. So make sure to stay safe, carry your umbrellas and your raincoats, because the monsoon spells might not be so heavy, but do not let your clothes or vehicles get damaged.
I think that's great as well. In addition to this, where moderate to heavy rainfall is expected in northern and central Punjab in the coming days, the weather system is expected to intensify over the upper catchment areas of various rivers. Deputy Director Flood Forecasting Division, Lahore, Saqib Hussain, spoke to PTV World of what we can expect. And he said that everybody needs to kind of make sure that they stay back home, use umbrellas if they're going out, because you might never know, it might be raining and we might be singing rain, rain, go away. And in addition to this, you know, let's go to our friendly neighbor, ladies and gentlemen, where in China, downpours at least has killed 30 in Beijing and thousands have been evacuated. Heavy rains killed more than 30 people and forced authorities to evacuate tens of thousands as swaths of northern China are lashed by torrential downpours that sparked landslides and flooding. Weather authorities have issued their second highest rainstorm warning for the capital Beijing, neighboring Hebei and Tianjin, as well as 10 other provinces. More than 80,000 people have been evacuated in the Chinese capital alone following heavy rainfall. Prayers go out to all of those people might have been displaced as well, and for people who've lost their lives, and patience for the bereaved.
Definitely, and our hearts and prayers go out to all the people who have been injured, and we hope and pray that they all get rescued safely. And not just this, I think a thing that we need to talk about is a very integral day that needs to be highlighted, is that it is Human Trafficking Day today, and human trafficking remains a serious global challenge, not just for law enforcement but for justice systems as well. Between 2020 to 2023, over 200,000 cases were reported. That is a staggering amount, and though the true number is much likely more higher than this, the organized crime continues to evolve, with traffickers increasingly using social media to target and exploit victims. From smuggling to sexual exploitation, from victims of human trafficking often end up in deeply abusive and inhumane conditions. I think this really needs to be looked into, how our authorities can collectively combine and work over international borders to eradicate this atrocious issue.
Exactly, and not just that, in addition to this, obviously the Honorable Prime Minister has actually reiterated his stance on how the nation needs to come together in making sure that, you know, that we curb this menace. So each and every one of us needs to play our role in making sure that we stop human trafficking and we raise our voices and concerns about it. In addition to this, ladies and gentlemen, where I'm speaking about the Prime Minister, he actually highlighted that the federal government has established a special task force to combat human trafficking, which has made significant progress in collaboration with the Federal Investigation Agency and the Intelligence Bureau. He added that government is working to raise public awareness about securing employment abroad through legal channels.
Definitely,
I think that's exactly what we need as well. And other than that, where Eesha, we actually spoke about human trafficking. I just need to ask you, are we good friends? Do you think colleagues are good friends?
Definitely, so that I feel like now, after many, many months of working together, I will consider you as my friend.
After so many months. But ladies and gentlemen, if you have a friend, if you haven't spoken to them, please make sure that you give them a call today, or probably make sure that you show up to their houses or places or wherever they work and surprise them, because today happens to be the Friendship Day. Yeah. Wow. The International Day of Friendship is celebrated on July 30th, was established by the United Nations in 2011 to promote peace and unity through friendship. It highlights the role of camaraderie in bridging divides between cultures, countries, and communities. The day encourages efforts that foster mutual understanding, solidarity, and reconciliation. Through events and initiatives worldwide, Friendship Day is a call to imagine a future where difference does not mean distance, where trust is stronger than fear. Through friendship, we don't just cope with the world as it is, we begin to shape the world as it could be. But it's my friends who really, you know, kind of take advantage of when we are together, you know. So there's a lot of point scoring, there's a lot of childhood stories. And no matter what, wherever I go, you know, they will always tell me, you know, you might be a celebrity for the world out there, but you're just a friend to us. Aur uske baad jo hoti hai, I can't even say it on television.
But I think this day is a reminder for everyone to reach out to their friends who they haven't spoken to in a long time, and make sure to meet your friends today, give them a hug, make sure to leave them a kind message, and make sure to give them a treat and not leave them on read, because a lot of my friends and me, we end up just leaving each other on scene zone, which is a big issue.
Yeah, people actually feel bad about it, and that's rude, you know. At least say something. So if you've seen it, you know, say something. It's not that you've seen, and you know, these days, you know, I enjoy those memes where people say, oh, you know, as soon as I got back home, I slept. You know, so the people are making those memes where they actually step inside the house and they fall down and then, you know, I was sleeping. Please don't do that. Please make sure that you respect people. And most of the people who are very successful in life, ladies and gentlemen, you know what they do? They will never leave you in scene zone, and they will always respond at the first priority because you're important to them. Now, imagine such is the case with the, you know, with the organizations that we have over here from public sector. Now, imagine if I am to speak about NADRA, you know, if I'm going to speak about any other public institution where I am supposed to go and, you know, probably do whatever I'm required to do. Ladies and gentlemen, they really need to make sure that, you know, that the service is up to mark, because that they are there to serve the nation. Such is the case, you know, because when I went onto this website, I was like, wow. I mean, I have never ever seen such an amazing website where they're even telling us what is the number of consumers that we are dealing with, what is the number of grid stations that we have, what is the number of feeders that we have, or the HT or the LT lines. Now, ladies and gentlemen, imagine that we're actually speaking about MEPCO and LESCO, and the reason being is that, you know, there are quite a lot of changes that have taken place. What are the advancements that are taking place in LESCO and MEPCO, and how are they taking place? Is it a challenge? Is it not a challenge? That's something that we will be talking about, because we're very lucky that we've actually been joined by the Chairman, Board of Director, LESCO and MEPCO. He is Mr. AMER. Hello, sir. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you, Ji?
Absolutely perfect. Thank you so much for joining us, and you look amazing.
Thank you very much for that.
I think it's wonderful to have you over here. So, sir, first thing first, I think for our audiences, because we go out in 46 different countries, what is LESCO and MEPCO?
So that's actually a very important question to answer. LESCO and MEPCO, I'll start with LESCO. LESCO is perhaps the biggest revenue earning company from within the power sector. Our total revenue is close to about 1.1 trillion rupees, probably amongst the top 10 companies in Pakistan. MEPCO is the largest company in terms of the consumer base. We've almost got close to about 8.5, 8.6 million customers. Covers almost the entire southern Punjab.
All right.
Spread across around 105,000 kilometers. So that's quite massive. So that's what LESCO and MEPCO is.
Exactly, but sir, there might be quite a lot of hard work which might have gotten into it as well. And you know, where you actually spoke about 8.6 million consumers, you're absolutely right. That's what your website says as well. With 1,746 feeders, 128,239 kilometers HT and LT lines, and 146 grid station. When I went onto this website, I was like, wow, really? Am I still in Pakistan? It was great. But sir, you know, what I would like to ask you is, what has happened since the SOE Act 2023 and the takeovers by the new board of directors?
So, I think the vision of the Prime Minister of Pakistan, the strategic direction that came from the ministry himself. So there was a reform process that started, and it culminated to the point that back in July 2024, we had the new boards for all these distribution companies. LESCO and MEPCO was also blessed with a new board. The thing that is, I think, foremost is the fact that the boards are very independent. So we take our decisions, we go through the processes that are required to reform the utility business, more so in the distribution sector. And that's what is, I think, paramount, that transparency, independence, and the will to do has been the maximum. Of course, coming in from the vision coming in from the Prime Minister of Pakistan and the strategic direction that flew in from the minister. I think there's a lot that has happened over the last so many years, at least in the last 1 year or so.
All right, and we actually want to know more about your position as chairman of the board of directors of LESCO and MEPCO, and what are the key strategies and reforms that you brought into notion when you stepped in?
So I think the pillar is you have to improve the customer services.
All right.
So what we have done is, and I think you must have heard about the recent new initiative that has been taken up by the Prime Minister, Apna Meter Apni Reading.
Yes.
That's an app through which you can actually take your own reading. If you log on to that app, if you download that app and you log on to that app, you can actually take your own reading. On the specified date that is required for that reading to be taken, you can upload that reading yourself.
That's
I think this has not happened ever before. And that's a huge, I would say, confidence building that has happened within the power sector.
True.
Of course, we are also very, very hard on stealing of electricity. We are taking all measures that are required. The other thing that's happened in the last year or so is the fact that we are going digital. We are moving away from those conventional meters. We are moving into smart meters. We are putting up smart meters. We are doing governance through technology. We are doing governance through data automation, and then this all translates into one simple fact, that we have to bring in transparency. So transparency, data automation, governance, and all those solutions that relate to an immediate decision-making process, that's been the cornerstone of what we've been doing in the last 1 year or so.
Exactly, and it's great to see such sort of innovation, you know, over here in Pakistan, where we're getting used to of applications, and, you know, we can upload our own readings. And, you know, that conflict which has always been there, people going and queuing outside LESCO's and MEPCO's office, sir, wo meri reading theek nahi thi, to mera bill theek nahi hai. I think that's a very common phenomena over here. But sir, in addition to this, you know, because, you know, since we have spoken about the SOE Act 2023 and we've spoken about the changes or the tweaks that have been made, you know, where does the performance of LESCO and MEPCO stand now?
So,
how do we calibrate that?
So LESCO and MEPCO, I'll take LESCO first and then MEPCO.
Sure. So Lahore first.
So we were at 15.8% losses, 30th of June 2024.
Okay.
We have been able to reduce the losses by almost 2.4%, which has never happened in the history of Pakistan. And my collection has been more than 100%. For MEPCO, we were around 15.4%. We have been able to reduce the losses by almost 2%. Again, never happened in Pakistan. And my collection for MEPCO was over 101%. That actually translates through the fact that you are going transparent. That actually translates to the fact that you are going digital. That translates to the fact that there is a very strong independence of the board being reflected through the vision and the mission of the government, of course being led by the Honorable Prime Minister and the Minister being the strategic intervener in that. That results into the changes that have happened in the last 1 year or so.
Exactly. I think, thank you so much for highlighting that as well, because this is exactly what Pakistan needs or the nation needs as well. And, you know, sir, in addition to this, where we're speaking about transparency being ensured and, you know, how, alhamdulillah, significant changes, not just in the institution itself, but rather how people are so satisfied by the services being provided by MEPCO and LESCO. Let's speak about some future plans as well, you know, because we keep on hearing about smart meters, we keep on hearing about ERP. How do you think that governance setup in a digital era will actually help us make sure that, you know, that we step into future?
So, again, like I said earlier, the cornerstone is to improve and provide transparency to the customers. We are building customer services centers, both in LESCO and MEPCO. We've already had a couple of built in both these discos. These customer services centers are fully automated. You walk into any of these customer services centers, so whether it's your new connection that you're requiring, whether it is a correction of bill or any update or any information, the customer services center across the two discos, any customer service center that you walk into will be able to cater for all of these requirements. Linked with that is the ERP system that we are prescribing into these both the discos. Our data is now becoming automated. Our data is now becoming transparent. This all translates into one singular fact, and that being that the decision-making process has to be transparent, it has to be real-time, and it should benefit the end customers. And so that's what the intent is.
Exactly. But sir, there's this, you know, a habit of our elite, and that habit is procrastination most of the time. Not just that, you know, for them to be well connected. And if you are to speak about governance, the last bit of my question, how do we get rid of, you know, people thinking, oh, you know, I'll call someone, you know, I'll get the meter guy to come in and it'll all be sorted. You know, we have this habit of not doing anything, just rather calling someone. So Amir Saab might get a call, यार आप चेयरमैन है प्लीज यार वो कनेक्शन लगवाना था, नया घर बनाया, अब आमिर साहब कैसे इनकार कर रहे हैं आजकल?
So Amir Saab, what he does is he relies on the KPIs and the turnaround times.
Okay.
So there is a KPI for every individual act, for every task.
Okay.
That KPI is defined. That becomes part and parcel of our statement of corporate intent.
Wow.
So the boards actually have signed statement of corporate intent with the ministry. It has not happened before.
Wonderful.
I am obligated to provide all that which is required as per the statement of corporate intent, translated into KPIs, translated into turnaround times, translated into my delivery.
Wonderful.
So that's the change that has happened.
Wow.
And we are measured on the basis
And all of that is
That's
being
great.
recorded, you know, so that the data is available, you know, so nobody can actually make things over here.
Absolutely,
Wow.
absolutely.
And you know what actually piques my interest is how electricity is such a sensitive issue to actually indulge in, right? So there could be workplace accidents and public accidents as well. So what steps and precautions are being taken place to eradicate this?
Honestly speaking, once you started with this program today, you talked about the weather, the weather that's there in Pakistan, the weather that's internationally, the changes that are happening, the global changes in terms of the abruptness of the weather. We are also being affected to that, through that. I think one of the key elements that we need to understand is that we have to play safe. Safety is paramount. I would, through this dialogue, I would actually request the general audience that please remain away, keep yourself away from the poles, the infrastructure, because there can be elements where there's leakage of current. That leakage of current can translate into khuda na khasta accidents. If there is any anything that relates to any leakage or anything, or if there's a line fallen down, or if there's something of the sort, please do inform us. We have our apps. Through those apps, you can actually, on a real-time basis, let us know on that account, and we will take immediate remedial action.
Which is why, sir, I mean, for me to kind of say it on TV, people might not even understand, but what are discos and how are they preventing accidents?
So discos are the distribution companies.
Okay.
LESCO and MEPCO are two of the 11 or 12 discos in Pakistan. So you've got all across Pakistan, you've got distribution companies, and so LESCO and MEPCO are just two of them.
And how do they prevent accidents?
So we do have multiple measures. We have got systems that will, in case if there is any abnormality in the system, so there are protection systems that operate through an automated program.
Okay.
So there are limits to every element where if the limit gets crossed on a technical parameters, there is a system that
So
actually
it will
prevents.
automatically stop.
Yes, it
You know,
does.
I think it's wonderful to kind of hear it from you, sir, and it's because of the fact that it's monsoon season, there's rains everywhere as well, and for them to kind of put some technical systems in place, you know, or standard operating procedures in place, where they will already automatically stop the delivery of electricity is something which is amazing. But so very quickly towards the end, how are you curbing the menace of electricity theft? One last question.
So we are coming very hard on against theft of electricity. Conventional theft of electricity used to be interference with the meters. Now, since the technology is advanced, so has the means to theft electricity. There are elements where they have tried to interfere with the system remotely. Recently, both in LESCO and MEPCO, we took some very serious actions against elements who were involved in such mayas. We were grateful for the support that came in from the police and rangers and law enforcing agencies in both these distribution companies and of course in the other companies as well, and we have apprehended, and so I can't go into the details because the case is still
because then
in the process.
they would know what's happening.
Oh yes, they know, and it's the message is loud and clear that we will not allow theft of electricity. Absolutely.
Thank you so much, Abbas, for
Thank
being
you
with
so
us.
much.
Lovely to be in conversation with you, and especially when Eesha, you're in conversation with people, you know, who've done well for the country, who've done well for their institutions, and it's always a learning process. It's always the learning curve, you know, for how in probably, you know, when they took over, how there were deficits, and alhamdulillah now, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about that, you know, it's one of the top 10 companies in Pakistan.
Definitely.
Wow.
And providing
We need to learn from
electricity,
these people.
exactly, and providing electricity to over 50 million people across Punjab is such a vigorous task to complete and do, and they're doing it, and with such exception.
And especially for a country where unfortunately we've gone through that era where, you know, there were electricity shortages as well. So for us to be, I think we need to take pride in it as well. And people really need to kind of change their sentiment, you know, the mindset that they have about our institutions. Because what we do is that we do our research. All you need to do is make sure you do your research. But in addition to this, we were talking about research, Eesha, what we need to speak about, okay, now when electricity comes in, you know, you can run your appliances, you can do your daily tasks and whatnot. But there's one more thing which is very important, and that is that unfortunately, if you fall ill, what do you need? You need medicine, right?
care.
And for that, the government has taken another initiative where Pakistan has signed a landmark agreement with the World Health Organization to provide free cancer medicines to children nationwide. The deal makes Pakistan part of World Health Organization's global platform for access to childhood cancer medicines aimed at improving survival rates in low and middle income countries. Health Minister Syed Mustafa Kamal, who attended the signing in Islamabad, said the initiative would benefit around 8,000 children diagnosed with cancer every year. He also launched the National Cholera Control Plan 2025-28 on the occasion. I think that's a wonderful landmark, and it's a great achievement for Pakistan to kind of give free medicines to children of lower or middle income households, and that too of cancer, because I do know for a fact how cancer can actually, you know, be very, I mean, it can cost quite a lot. The treatments can cost quite a lot, and people do struggle. And in addition to this, what I would want to add over here is I would want to give rich tribute to Madam Mariam Nawaz, the Chief Minister of Punjab, because imagine that, you know, that I do know for sure a few people who were actually receiving free medicines from the Punjab free medicine program. And they actually had to go to the hospitals, get themselves tested, and there was a long queue, and then the medicine people will tell the medicine is not available and whatnot. So it was
such a hectic process.
Yeah, it was a very hectic process. Now imagine that as soon as Madam Mariam Nawaz took oath as the Chief Minister of Punjab, what she did was that the medicine is delivered at your doorstep, and it's such a relief. And then people will call you from the hospital, say, do you still have some medicine, or do you need more? And you know, and
what
it's
a
free
great
of cost.
initiative!
Wow.
What a great
Wow.
initiative! And imagine dealing with such a hard disease where it impacts your body, your lifestyle, and your family. But then getting the support by the government, it's very exceptional, and it needs to be applauded as well. But in a optimistic turn of events, the British Prime Minister Keir Starmer stated that Britain will recognize the state of Palestine in September unless the Israeli government takes substantive steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza and meets other conditions. According to the official statement, Starmer told the cabinet that UK will recognize the state of Palestine in September before the United Nations General Assembly unless the Israeli government takes the steps to end the appalling situation in Gaza and reaches a ceasefire, marking a clear and that there will be no annexation in the West Bank and the comments along the long-term peace process that delivers a two-state solution. Meanwhile, the German Chancellor has stated that Germany, France and Britain are considering sending their foreign ministers to Israel next week as international pressure mounts over Gaza's dire humanitarian crisis. So I think this is a positive turn of events that is taking place, and the steps that are being taken to recognize the state of Palestine and to accommodate the people of Gaza during this appalling crisis needs to be dealt with more care and more certainty.
Exactly, and not just that, Eesha, you know, in the previous days we've spoken about how aid needs to reach out there as well, where how people are actually putting in formula diets, you know, in plastic bottles and throwing it into the river, making sure that it actually reaches Gaza. Well, but in addition to this, you know, where we're talking about, you know, some different turn of events, the United States President Donald Trump has sent a letter to Gurpatwant Singh Pannan, a prominent leader of the pro-Khalistan group Sikhs for Justice, in a move that has been interpreted by some observers as a significant diplomatic challenge for the Modi-led Indian government. The letter dated July 24th has reignited discussions surrounding international attention on the Khalistan movement. Pannan, who was designated a terrorist by the Indian government in 2020, received the letter at his residence in East Amherst, New York. The letter highlights America's foreign and domestic priorities under President Trump's leadership and has been hailed by pro-Khalistan supporters as symbolic recognition of their cause. In the letter, President Trump affirms that his administration is committed to advancing policies that put our citizens, our values, and our nation first. I think it's great.
Definitely, definitely. And Shahzad, when we live in today's day and age, right, so one thing that is embedded in everyone's minds is that we need to look our best, and in order to do that,
we need to color coordinate.
We need to color coordinate as well. And you know, in order to do that, people want to dive into being slim and being fit. And unfortunately, people are taking different drugs to achieve that. And a newly discovered molecule called retartitude is actually showing a remarkable promise in clinical trials for weight loss, with patients the experience of an average reduction of 24% in body weight developed as part of a new class in the metabolic treatments. It acts in hormonal pathways and suppresses appetite and regulates blood sugar. It results in the it surpasses the popular drug Ozempic, positioning it as a potential game changer in obesity treatment. So I think people who had their special drug Ozempic to lose their weight are now going to move on to this different molecule, and it's going to, you know, make them slim within days.
Well, I don't know. You know, I'm still not going to recommend any injections, ladies and gentlemen. Please make sure that all you need to do is control your mouth, do not eat quite a lot, and exercise. I'm still not going to recommend any injection, any molecule, anything which is going to be out there.
Anything that works so fast, you never know if it's actually going to impact your body in a negative way.
Obviously, because people are not getting their tests done as well. But in addition to this, where we've spoken about such technology, imagine, what if, Eesha, I tell you, now imagine that we were so blessed, we were born in Islamabad, raised over here, we had schools, internet, access to everything.
Definitely.
And yet we were not able to do that. That's a little embarrassing for us, and it's because of the fact that this lady from Sindh, you know, while growing up, you know, did not had basic good education access. And imagine what she did. Ladies and gentlemen, she happens to be an awardee of the Innovation and Impact Award. Not just that, she was honored as a global youth leader in AI innovations at World Internet Conference in 2024 in China. She has won two global awards in 6 months. We're very lucky that we've actually been joined by Ms. FARAH Rahuja. Hello, madam. Assalamu alaikum. Chala, dado sutwa.
Hello. Salam, sab theek hai. Thank you so much.
Mani khadi ya mani?
Mani pani khadwa, sab theek hai. Tamar khadwa?
Okay, khado do mujhe. Bhai meri Sindhi itni hai to
Okay,
maine
you
kaha
don't
pehle main
understand
Sindhi
that, I
bol
know.
do. Ek dafa, but thank you so much for joining us. Wonderful to have you. So first things first, obviously
Thank you so much.
we have shared with our audiences that you have won 2 global awards. We will come back to that. But I would want to ask you that you belong to a very remote area in Sindh. How did your journey start?
So yeah, actually I come from Dadu, a small city in Sindh. I did my early education from Sindh, and then I did my bachelor's from Commerce University, Islamabad, in information technology. And during my studies, I have realized that I'm very interested in learning artificial intelligence. So I undertook various courses and internships in artificial intelligence to further enhance my skills. And after that, I start working on real world projects related to artificial intelligence. And right now, I'm co-founder of a project called PAKGPT, and I'm also artificial intelligence trainer. So this is how it started.
Exactly. So when it all started, was it difficult for you? Because imagine that, when I was going through your profile, what I read was that, because in rural Pakistan, millions are digitally excluded, most tools do not support local languages, and internet is often limited to 2G. Did you think about making sure that, that you actually develop an artificial-based application which will help give access to people probably wherever they are?
Actually, I come from a region where access to education and technology is very limited, and where the idea of a girl stepping into leadership is often met with skepticism. But I always wanted to be an example for them that a girl can lead and she can create a more meaning and positive impact in a society. So growing up, I saw how difficult it is for people, especially for women and rural youth, to access even basic information. Because in rural Pakistan, million of people, as you mentioned, million of people are digitally excluded because internet is often limited to 2G, and most tools do not support local languages. So I know how to use AI. I know how to make projects in artificial intelligence. So I just wanted to not just dream big for myself, but to build something for them. So this is how I started
Exactly.
working on
But in
PAKGPT
between
and created
somewhere,
PAKGPT.
because we are in conversation with the co-founder of PAKGPT, what I would want to ask you is, did you experience any sort of digital divide? Because I think that's where, your idea or your conception of PAKGPT came along, right?
Exactly. Actually, this is digital divide that million of people are digitally excluded. They have no access to internet. Most tools do not support local languages. So this is actually digital divide, and it's not only technology issue; it's a justice issue. So I just created ParkGPT to solve this digital divide from rural areas.
Exactly. Wonderful, wonderful. And as Shahzad highlighted that you are the co-founder of PAKGPT, why don't you tell us about its unique features and how it stands out in the space of AI in Pakistan?
So ParkGPT is artificial intelligence conversational model, and it is especially designed for people who have been traditionally left out of digital technologies to ensure that no one is left behind just because their internet is slow or their language is different. For example, it can communicate in local languages of Pakistan. Right now, it can communicate in all local languages of Pakistan, but data is limited for obvious reasons. And then secondly, it works offline too, and then works on low bandwidth connections too.
Wow,
Exactly.
imagine having a technology that works offline, because that's usually our main issue when the light goes or the internet is down, then we cannot use ChatGPT. But I think we would love to
And
use
there's
your
quite a
model.
lot which Eesha has to kind of look for
Exactly.
Research on.
on PARK-GPT or ChatGPT. And, we are all for it, obviously. But how do you think that, for you to kind of develop PARK-GPT has actually helped, people who were actually facing the menace of digital divide? Do you think that it brings people closer? Do you think that making sure that we reach out to them with artificial intelligence models where they are local languages so that they can actually probably use technology just as we could, if it's in English?
Actually, I think in my point of view, artificial intelligence has a potential to impact millions of lives altogether. When I launched my project PathGPT in my hometown, I went door to door to encourage families to let their daughters to use technology and explore the potential of PathGPT. And to be very honest, the impact was real. Girls started using PathGPT and started launching small businesses like selling pottery or handicraft just by using PathGPT or artificial intelligence guidance. And rural youth has learn digital skills and get employment opportunities. So the impact
Exactly.
was real, and this
Which,
is how it bridges.
which obviously is great, but because you've mentioned that,
Yeah.
how, now the girls are selling poetry, taking digital advice of Park GPT, there's another feature in it. I do not know what it stands for, but because we're not digitally very good, what is CCC? Can you please explain that? Because while I was going through it, it said that it has CCC. I didn't know what CCC is.
Actually, I too don't know what is CCC. I think you misunderstood it maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it offers free So it says that it offers free and private access and
Oh,
most
oh,
moderated
yes. Actually, yes. I remember. It has actually culturally contextualized content. So this is CCC.
Yeah, thank you so much for saying
So
that.
that people accept technology. Yeah, thank
Now
you so
imagine
much.
that if we have culturally contextualized content, which means that people will actually be abiding by whatever their cultural norms are, and I do
Definitely,
believe
huh.
that it's great, and especially when we are speaking about digital device advice. Now I'm going to come back to what you have achieved because that's where I started from. So in 2024, you had the honor of representing PAKGPT as Global Youth Leader at the World Internet Conference in China. What happened over there? Please go ahead.
So World Internet Conference, both of these organizations, World Internet Conference and World Youth Development Forums, actually open their applications for students who are working in artificial intelligence, IT, cybersecurity, or maybe working on projects for social inclusion. And they, for example, in World Internet Conference, they have selected only 18 young leaders from 130 plus countries from all around the world. And in World Youth Development Forum, and I was one of them, and I was only Pakistani there among those 18 people. And then in World Youth Development Forum, they have selected like 200 projects from all around the world, and in top 10 I was one of them. So this is how it started, and there I met with like-minded people, like-minded mentors, and then I explored different cultures from all around the world, and this is how it started, and this is how it's going
Exactly,
right now.
and
Wonderful,
it's great and
wonderful.
it's wonderful, which is why towards the end, one last question. Obviously, you're making Pakistan proud. Within 6 months, you've won 2 global awards. You have an open air ticket to yourself as well to go and attend conferences. What do you think that the government needs to do? And have you reached out to any government body in making sure that that we make PAKGPT or applications of such sort accessible for people out there? Number one. Number two, what are the future opportunities that you have in front of you now, and how are you going to build better than what you have built already?
Actually, my dream is only one, to expand PAKGPT across Pakistan and to other developing countries facing similar challenges. Obviously, in World Internet Conference and in World Youth Development Forum, I got opportunities for future collaborations, partnerships, and investment. But unfortunately, in Pakistan, government has not contacted me yet. And because I have created this project for Pakistan, considering the rural, because I am from rural Pakistan, considering the situation of rural Pakistan and digital divide in rural Pakistan. But government has not yet like contacted me, or I don't know. They don't even know maybe that Pakistan GPT existed or not. But considering the foreign opportunities, I have already, alhamdulillah, so many opportunities to
All
expand
right.
PAKGPT across different countries.
Thank you
Exactly, and
so
the
much.
government did reach out to you, which is why you're on Pakistan television, and inshallah in days to come,
We will get
somebody
more
will certainly
Oh
call you
recognition.
to
yeah.
congratulate, and
Definitely.
for you to be, or for your application to be inculcated into wherever its usage can be potentially. But thank you so much for making Pakistan proud.
Thank,
Wonderful to be in conversation with you.
Thank you so much. And it always
thank you.
amazes me and astonishes me how young people like these are innovative and bringing all these innovative ideas to enhance and make Pakistan a brilliant place.
Thank you so much. And what about young people like these?
Young people like we are going to do an amazing job as well, but I think what we really need to dive into
Inshallah.
is how the sports world is active and all about. So Shahzad, why don't you
Exactly.
tell us
So
what happened?
Pakistan cricket team holds practice session at Broward County Stadium ahead of 3-match T20 International Series against West Indies. Players participated, batting, bowling and fielding, followed by warm-up and fitness drills during the session. The training comes in preparation for the 3 T20 matches to be played on July 31st, August 2nd and 3rd in Lauderhill. After the T20 International Series, the 3 one-day internationals will be played in Truba on August 8th, 10th and 12th.
And not just this, Australia actually beat West Indies by 3 wickets in the final match in the Basit to complete a 5-0 sweep in the T20 series. Australia entered the tour with a perfect 8-0 score, including a 3-0 test series win, which is wow, what a great score. And not just this, Pakistan actually beat Australia by 10 wickets in the World Championship of Legends in Lancaster, securing a semi-final spot in the 4th straight wins. Australia will be batting first and were bowled out for 74 runs, and Ben Duckett scored a 26 and Column scored a 10.
Well, I think that's news for the sport, ladies and gentlemen. In order for you to kind of play amazing sports, what you really need to do is you need to make sure that your eyesight is 6/6. Imagine I was in conversation with a friend of mine, and he said, "Oh, my eyesight is 10 into 10." I was like, what is 10 into 10? It's supposed to be 6 by 6. It was like, okay, I was wrong. So for anybody and everybody who's out there, whatever you want to do in life, ladies and gentlemen, it's really essential that you really make sure that you look after your eyesight. We are very lucky that we've actually been joined by somebody who's actually done more than 45,000 successful eye surgeries in Pakistan and abroad. And the latest advances in cataract treatment as of 2024-25, which will reflect a lot of innovations. He's here to answer that. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, we're very lucky that we have been joined by consultant ophthalmologist. He is Dr. Tahir Ayub Khan. Hello sir, assalamu alaikum, good morning, how are you?
Assalaam, thank you sir. Good morning. I appreciate your show. The world is changing every morning.
True.
Definitely.
And you people are updating us.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so
And
much.
you're even updating us as well by
Yes.
bringing newer technologies.
Yes, I'm here.
Exactly.
And-
So,
and
sir,
please,
45,000 more, successful eye
Surgeries,
surgeries. Let's speak about the advancement in the cataract treatment specifically first.
First of all, what is cataract?
Yeah.
Simply, cataract is the cloudiness of the natural lens. We
Yeah.
have
Right.
natural lens in our eyes. When it becomes cloudy, or in other words, it's become opaque, we call it as cataract.
Okay.
Cataract, the world reflects cat. You know, we
Yep.
have at night we see reflex in the cat eyes.
Yep.
So it's a long history how developed surgery, cataract surgery developed. But today, our ophthalmology, I mean eye science, has reached a stage when we are doing surgeries without any injections, without any sutures, stitches, I mean, and within 5 to 10 minutes, it is completed. And the man can go home on its own, no need of eye patches, and he can go to work after 3-4 days.
All
I think it's
right.
wonderful, which is why, sir, precisely I'm going to speak about the FLACS because you've spoken about how, now we really do not have to inject, there's no anesthesia given to anyone, it's just a laser technology. So can you please explain a little bit about this laser technology and how does it work?
No, this is not a laser technology.
Okay.
Although laser technology is being used in cataract surgery, but first of all, I will talk about phacoemulsification.
Yes.
In this technique, we use a machine
All right.
which produces ultrasound energy.
Okay.
And there is a small, very small, just like a syringe, injection syringe. Just like a thing, we have a small piece, hand piece attached to the machine, and we, with a needle, we insert it into the eyeball. It emulsifies, or in other words, you can say simply, it melts into very small pieces, breaks into very small pieces,
And then you take it out.
and sucks it out. And when it's clean, we inject foldable intraocular lenses.
Okay.
All
They're
right.
very soft, clear lenses.
All right.
They are folded, and again, like a syringe type injector, they are folded in it. We inject just like injection,
All right.
and when it goes inside the eye, it opens and settles down there.
Is it
where
painful?
Huh?
Is it
no,
painful?
no, not painful. We use topical. I mean, topical mean drops, eye drops, and numbing drops,
To numb it.
anesthetic drops.
All right.
A few times before going for surgery, and the patient didn't feel anything.
And I'm curious about knowing how common is this cataract surgery. I know that in my family, around all of the adults, my grandparents and my older dad's cousins and everyone, they have gotten this surgery. So it's very common nowadays. And what types of lenses are embedded in the eye after the surgery?
Very good, your very good question. Cataract is very, very common, and it is the number one surgeries in the sense of number of surgeries in the world. Second is cesarean section,
Oh.
and number one is the cataract surgery, because we have two eyes, and if the population of the world is it
8
is double,
billion, for example.
and so it
Eyes
becomes
are
Double the
16 billion.
amount.
eyes become
Wow.
16 billion. Number two is the every third or 4% is having diabetes, and in diabetes,
All right.
cataracts comes very early.
All right. Actually, we
Very.
always thought it was genetics or maybe other factors, but
Diabetes is
wow, we
genetic.
never.
Nowadays, I will say diabetes is the number one.
Yep.
Previously, it was thought it is the old age disease,
Factor.
cataract, but now It is, I'm seeing in even young people, 20, 25, 30 people with diabetes.
True.
So it's very common. And second question, what type of lenses? We have a number of lenses. Foldable lenses, I already...
Intraocular lenses?
Intraocular lenses. These are foldable intraocular lenses. There are different types.
And different colors?
No, different. You can say colors, usually they are transparent and you can't see outside, just like cosmetic contact lenses. This is not color. One type of lenses we use, they are called monofocal intraocular lenses. They are far VN.
All right.
And usually they are cheaper, and routinely monofocal lenses are used. And for reading, we use glasses. Other lenses, which are multifocal lenses, they are far, near, and intermediate distance, but they are little bit costly, but they are being used. And
what about the life of these lenses, sir?
These are for life, whole life.
For life, that's it. I think it's great. But now, sir, you know, we have a few more questions as well, you know, coming from our team members who are actually listening to us as well. Do you think that, you know, for children born with the condition of squint can actually be healed or recovered, or are there exercises where they can get better?
Yes. If a child is having squint, it should be immediately examined.
Okay.
Because if only one eye is moving outside, it can become blind because it is not focusing the light.
All right.
Brain is using only one eye, and other eye is being ignored by the brain.
True.
So first of all, an eye doctor will advise you to cover the good eye for it is called patching.
All right.
So that child starts using his squinted eye.
All
Okay.
right.
And first of all, we do refraction. Refraction means we check for glasses. If he need glasses, to
So sometimes it can get better with glasses.
it can become better.
Okay.
But if it doesn't improve after a few years of using glasses, we can go for surgery.
All right.
And it is totally can be cured.
Wow, wonderful. It can get better as well. So
Yeah.
one
That's
last
great
question,
news.
you know, before Eesha
Definitely.
actually has to ask another question as well. And that is that, sir, these days, even kids, even adults, everybody's on screen. How damaging is it for people? Please go ahead, you know, share it with them. थोड़ा गुस्से में बताएं जरा उनको कि यार इतना नहीं देखना होता.
It is very, very dangerous.
And how damaging is it? You have to share examples.
Yes. I have seen young people. I have even recorded their videos
Okay.
on my laptop. They are very young. A guy who was doing what's that game?
PlayStation,
No,
Xbox,
no, very famous.
Fortnite.
Fortnite.
Some game. I
Something,
forgot that name. Very famous.
All right.
He was playing on that game for more than 24 hours without going to washroom, without eating something. He was in some contest, and his kidneys were failed.
Oh my gosh.
He is on dialysis now. Other thing, when we focus on screen for long time, our eyes are slowed down in blinking. This blinking is very important. 14 to 16 times a minute is very important, just like windscreen of a car.
Yep.
Our eyes become dry, and when dry, there are chances of more and more infections. And moreover, when cornea becomes dry, we feel headache, we feel eye strain, and even there are our sleep becomes disturbed because there is a hormone which is produced in our brain, which helps us in going to sleep.
Okay.
And when we continue looking at light, so at screen, that hormones become disturbed.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And that's why sleep becomes disturbed.
Thank
and
you so
very
much.
well said. It's not that how it's affecting the eyesight, but other body organs as well that
Yeah.
we need to survive. And it's
Exactly.
not just impairing us for a short time, but forever. Imagine being on dialysis forever. That's very shocking and
But
eye-opening.
one thing I want to say,
Sure.
Go ahead.
a child came about 11 years age for eye checkup. His mother was with her. Her mother asked me, tell him not to use screen.
All right.
I said to the guy, please don't do it. But the guy
Thank you,
said,
sir. Thank you so much for saying that. We'll be short on
Thank
time
you
for
so
everybody
much.
who's out there. Ladies and gentlemen, we really need to bid farewell. Thank you so much, Dr. Saab, for being with us. Lovely to be, you know, asking you questions and for your contribution. For everybody who's out there, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that for everybody who's out there, that you do not text very late at night or probably keep on texting or being on the phone, because that's exactly what Dr. Saab has mentioned. Dr. Saab, thank you so much
Thank
once
you so
again.
much.
And thank you so much for all the successful surgeries that you've done. And for everybody who's out there, look after yourselves. It's a great day. Good morning. Look after yourself and look after your eyes. Bye.